Is an extra capacity battery for your UPS something you really need? Or is it just another gadget that sits on a shelf collecting dust? Who should actually buy a CyberPower extended battery module? Who can safely skip it? And does the price make sense for the everyday buyer who only experiences the occasional brownout? Those are the three questions I'm going to break down, because that's where most people get stuck before they click Add to Cart. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent the last week digging through the compatibility lists, watching a few installation videos, and scrolling through the handful of reviews that actually mention real-world use. The reason the decision feels a little fuzzy is that an extended battery isn't a standalone piece of hardware. You need a UPS that can talk to it. You need a rack or tower space to mount it. And you need to understand exactly how much extra runtime you'll actually get when the lights go out. First, let's talk about the kind of setup where this module shines. Imagine you run a small office with a point-of-sale terminal, a network switch, and a couple of desktop PCs that need to stay online for at least 10 minutes when the power fails. Your standard CyberPower 1500VA UPS gives you roughly 3 to 5 minutes before everything shuts down, which is enough for a desktop to save work, but not enough for a transaction to finish or a router to keep a VPN tunnel alive. Adding the BP144VL2U01 tax on an extra 144 of battery capacity, which translates to roughly an additional 5 to 7 minutes on that same load. In practice, that means a checkout clerk can complete a sale, a server can finish a backup, or a home office streamer can gracefully switch to a battery-powered router without dropping the call. Those few extra minutes are the exact reason a lot of IT managers justify the purchase. Now, if you're a typical homeowner who only worries about the TV flickering during a storm, you probably don't need this module. Your UPS already protects your modem and maybe a single desktop. The extra runtime won't change the fact that you'll still lose power to the rest of the house. In that scenario, you're paying for capacity you'll never use, and the money could be better spent on a surge protector or a higher capacity UPS that fits your whole entertainment system. So the first rule of thumb: if your critical devices can safely power down within the native runtime of your existing UPS, skip the extra battery. Compatibility is the next hidden hurdle that trips up a lot of buyers. The BP144VL2U01 is a rack/tower convertible module, which sounds flexible, but it only talks to a specific family of CyberPower UPS units, mostly the models that have this smart battery management port. If you own a non-CyberPower unit, or even a CyberPower model that predates the smart management feature, the module simply won't be recognized, and you'll be left with a hefty brick of cells you can't use. Before you order, double-check the model number on your UPS and verify it appears on CyberPower's compatibility chart. It's a small step that saves you a frustrating return. Assuming you have a compatible UPS, the actual installation is surprisingly painless. The HOT-SWAPPABLE design means you can pull the existing battery while the UPS is still running, replace it with the extended module, and the UPS will automatically switch over without a reboot. In a server rack, this translates to zero downtime. No need to schedule a maintenance window just to add a little extra juice. For a tower setup, the module slides into the battery compartment just like a regular pack, so you don't have to rewire anything. That simplicity is a real strength because it removes the tech-savvy barrier that often makes people shy away from expanding their UPS. On the downside, the physical size of the module is not negligible. It adds roughly the same footprint as a full-size UPS battery, which can be a tight squeeze in a densely packed rack. If you're already running a full rack with limited space, you'll need to rearrange equipment or sacrifice a slot, which can be a deal-breaker for small data centers. The weight is also something to consider. It's not something you want to lift repeatedly during routine checks. In short, the module is practical if you have the space, but it's a poor fit for cramped home office desks. Value for money is where the conversation often turns into a numbers game. The BP144VL2U01 typically retails in the low to mid-hundreds, and with CyberPower's 3-year warranty and UL safety certification, you're not just buying cells, you're buying a tested, certified component that integrates cleanly with your existing UPS. For a business that can't afford even a minute of downtime, those extra minutes can translate into avoided lost sales or data corruption, which quickly outweighs the upfront cost. For a hobbyist who only cares about keeping a router alive for a few minutes, that same price tag might feel steep. A practical example I saw in a community forum, a boutique bakery.